Hello and welcome to my new art video, how to draw fabric folds. To draw anything you need to look carefully at what you can see. It is best to forget what you think is there, but to draw the actual shapes that you see in front of you. Start with drawing some of the lines that you can see within the folds themselves and also the outlines of the folds. Pay particular attention to how a line finishes, if it curves or just peters out or stops. Try with your pencil to draw dark lines and lighter lines. In this drawing I use a 4B pencil because it's good for drawing lines of various tonal qualities and also for shading later on. As you draw the lines or parts of lines, you start to find connections between one shape and another, or you start to understand how the lines themselves make sense. Quite often in a drawing I find that one line will naturally meet up with another, and then I realise what it is that I'm drawing. It's a really good idea just to draw what you see and not think too much, and trust that the things that you see to draw will be the most important things. To draw in this style, it's important to draw the small shapes but also be aware of the large shapes so that you're drawing a line drawing of the interior of things and the exterior of things at the same time. I develop my drawing with more lines, darker lines and lighter lines. And then I draw a tonal key in the top left hand corner, basically 4 little rectangles, one tone of the paper, the second one slightly darker, the third one darker still, and the fourth one the darkest that your pencil will go. Then you look at the fabric that you're drawing and you leave all the highlights, the number 1 tone, the tone of the paper. The second tone, you shade everything that tone. And then the third tone you put on top of the second tone, where the third tone is visible. So tone is just the lightness or darkness of the object that you're looking at, the fabric that you're looking at. If you're unsure of the lightness or darkness of the fabric that you're looking at, it's a good tip to half close your eyes to look through at the fabric, and then you can more clearly see the tonal relationships, the light and darks, as they actually are. Because sometimes when your eyes are fully open, it can be a little bit confusing. As my drawing develops, I go through the tonal range, and hopefully you can see that you're actually adding one tone on top of another, and the tones are getting smaller areas. Every now and then, I find that there's a whole area that was too light in tone, so I just make that whole area darker. Details are something that appear and also something that are added to later on. I start to use a piece of paper underneath my hand because otherwise you get a lot of smudging with such a tonal drawing. Many of the lines that are at the beginning, you'll find that they become just a change in tone, so the line disappears and it becomes an edge between one tone and another. If you look carefully at the drawing that I'm doing, there are very few lines in it. Most of the lines are created by one tone changing to another, so from a light to a dark area or from dark to a light area. Although those areas did start off as lines, they become tones. To complete the picture, I put some tone in the background, going right up to the outline of the fabric. This makes the highlights of the fabric seem brighter because they're next to a neutral or mid to dark tone and creates a stronger contrast. The fabric that I've based this on is from a famous drawing by Leonardo da Vinci of fabric over the legs, knees of a figure. I've just drawn it in my own way. I hope you like it, and see you next time.